Hello, learners. I welcome you all to the session on manpower planning, its supply forecasting. Okay. So, in the last sessions, we discussed about job analysis, its process, and its essential job functions. In these sessions, we'll discuss the various techniques of job of supply forecasting. Okay. So, I am Dr. Chandrakant Sahu, Institute of Management and Information Technology, Kotak. So, supply forecasting, let us first understand what is this supply forecasting. Supply forecasting means to make an estimation of supply of human resources, taking into consideration the analysis of current human resources, inventory, and future availability. So, two things we will discuss here, that human resource inventory and future ability. So when we talk of this, that supply forecasting, there are two types of supply. One is internal source of supply, another is external source of supply. So internals, we will start with internal source of supply. So how we can that estimate internal supply for a given unit. Okay, take this example. So, in an organization, there will be some flow of people into the organization system. Like people may join through external hiring, internal transfer also. Okay, there may be people who may join the unit through internal transfer or through promotion they may come, and some of the employees who may have been suspended or dismissed due to due to some of the reasons, they may be called back. So what are the sources of outflows? The outflows includes the promotions, means people get promoted and they leave the unit. Okay, they may leave like turnover, they may leave because of like resignations, through resignations or terminations or demotions or retirement, death, and layoffs. These are various forms of separations you can call. So this is the current staffing level. Okay, so we can estimate this unit internal supply of this that this time next year. So we can have the projected staffing level, total projected staffing level, minus projected outflows this year plus projected inflows this year. Okay, so let us take one example. So this is an estimation of internal supply for a word processing job. So what are the sources of inflows? So people getting into the unit, like through transfer people come in, through promotion people come in, like number of people join the unit through transfer 12 and promotion 10. So total number of people join the unit, that means this is called inflows. So the total number is 22. So what is the total number of people outflow? Okay, people may leave through resignations, discharge, demotions, retirement, promotions. Okay, so the total number of outflows can be 42. So estimating that, or assuming that current manpower level is 250. So this is the formula: current personnel level minus outflows plus inflows, that is called internal supply of word processors. So assuming that current personnel level is 250, okay, minus 42 is the outflow plus 22, that means this is the estimation, that is 230 word processors. Okay, so this is the internal process analysis, that internal supply analysis. So then an internal supply analysis can be done through staffing and manning table. Okay, so and Markov analysis also another technique we can also do with this. So what is this staffing and manning table? The staffing tables are graphic representations of all organization jobs. Okay, so it is very much like one organizational chart. So these are graphic representations of all organizational jobs along with the numbers of employees currently occupying those jobs and future monthly or yearly employment requirements, which can be derived from demand forecast. A manning table is the listing of the positions or numbers of workers to be used in the operations of a particular machine or a process. For example, a manning list might be used in a school to communicate with or personnel for any changes in assignment, subject, grade level. So when we prepare the analysis, okay, so we can see this. Okay, so I will also like to show you one manpower terms, because when we discuss this internal supply analysis, we must see the that HRIS, human resource because all these things also will be available in human resource, that information system. I will show this. There is a template readily available with me. I will show you. Okay, so that you can better. Suppose you have been given the a charge that you prepare the human resource information system. It has that a lot of relevance for manpower planning, because when we talk of that manpower supply, immediately when we talk of internal supply, we have to refer to the that HRIS or that human resource information system. So this is just a template. It can be changed according to the requirement, organization requirement. So this is an ideal template I can show you. So employee ID, then it can be name of the employee, the designation of the employee. So this designation will have all the jobs, will have some JD, like job descriptions. Job description will tell us about the that job requirement, okay, or job requirement we can talk of. Okay, various skill sets also required, various tasks, duties, responsibilities involved in the job. So this, then there can be designation code, or there can be one employee label, then there can be locations, which location a particular employee is working, then gender, then date of joining. Okay, so employment status, employee status, it can be active, it can be or on long leave, or it can be AWOL, means absent without leave. So then can be that employment status can be like permanent on or on probations, then associate, non-associate also employment, maybe that employee may be an associate or non-associate. So who is the what is the name of the immediate supervisor, that means who is the reporting authority, it can also be written here. Okay, so for every employees this has to be prepared. So name of the business unit, name of the business unit head, who is the head of the business unit. So then name of the project, department, okay, project code, department code, okay. So then description of the department, it can be depending on the nature of the jobs, the department can also come. So this department may be a supportive department, or capture or conversions. It has been developed particularly to a particular organizations. But other organization it may differ. There can be other departments like HR may come, or you can have like finance or sales department can come. But here these are the department like support, C&C means capture and conversion, or KPO or support kind of things. Okay, so then KPO, or it's a KPO or non KPO. Okay, whether it's a knowledge process outsourcing or non knowledge process outsourcing employee. Then the work is office based or home based, or regular or project based, or on contract or fixed term employees. So this is just a standard information system that I have shown you. We will also see that employee separated data. Okay, so here also we can see this, a few more things we will see, like employee ID, name of the employee, designations, then designations we can have designation code, employee label 1 2 3, location, gender, date of joining, employment status, whether on that permanent or on probation or fixed term or contract. Okay, then the employee is an associate or non associate, or name of the immediate supervisors we can talk of. Then we can have the business unit, name of the business unit, name of the business unit head, name of the project, name of the projects. Okay, that project name was missing there. Name of the project, project code, we can project department code. Okay, description of the department we have discussed in the first. That's it. Okay, this can be also KPO or non KPO, or home based, office based, we can talk of. Then regular or contract fixed term employees. Okay, so then contract project employment expiry. Okay, this can be also uh, so term, when there is a term, there will be an expiry of the term. This can be also that included. Then we can have date of separations, last date of work. Okay, date of removal from the system. Then type of separations, like a person is, this is very much significant to understand the manpower wastage. So why people are leaving, whether the organization is terminating the people, or people are living by themselves for a better opportunity. This is therefore this is also required. So these cells can be used for attrition, to understanding the attrition patterns. Okay, so then types of separation, resignations or end of the contract kind of things. Then voluntary attrition or involuntary. Okay, so then reason for leaving, like people may leave for career shift, end of the contract, educations, personal reason, family matters, forced leave. So there can be also end of the contract or absent without leave. This can be the reason for this. So these are very much essential for that understanding or calculating attritions. Okay, understanding employee attritions. If attrition data are maintained in the HRIS, this may help the company to understand the patterns of attritions or job turnover in the company. So this can be used as a model, or depending on the requirement of the department, or the depending on the requirement of the company, this can be used. Okay, so we were discussing here. So staffing table, it's just a graphical representations of all organizational jobs, along with the numbers of the employees currently occupying those jobs, and future uh, monthly or yearly employment requirements, which can be derived from demand forecast. A manning table is the listing of the positions or a number of workers to be used in the operations of a particular machines or a process. Okay, so then we can talk of this Markov analysis. Markov analysis is a powerful technique that is also used in understanding or for internal supply analysis. So what this Markov analysis shows, this Markov analysis shows the percentage and the actual number of employees who remains in each job from 1 year to the next. So it's just a 1 year calculations. So at the beginning of the year, who are the people, and at the end of the year, how many percentage of the people remain in each job positions. Okay. Thus keeping track of the patterns of employee movements through various jobs. Thus this analysis results in a composite matrix of supply. You will see one example. So this is just internal supply analysis of analysis that Markov analysis is used. This is for a retail companies. So this has been seen. So store manager, these are the designation, job designations like store manager, assistant store manager, section managers, department managers. So sales associates. So within bracket it has been written total number of that people working at the beginning of the year. So it's a old data, therefore it has been written 2002 and 2003. So you can understand this, it is one estimations, or it is one internal supply analysis for 2003. Okay, so N means the total number of people are the available, or employees available in a particular job positions at the beginning of the year. Okay, so this red color percentage, that indicates the transition percentage, and other color indicates that actual number of employees. Okay, so this out of total 12, you see this has been for each jobs this matrix has been created. Okay, so store manager out of 12, so transition percentage is 90, actual number of employees 11 remains. Okay, that means what does it mean? Means one person left. Okay, so similarly for assistant store managers, so n equal to 36. Okay, so transition percentage is 11, actual number of employees is 4. So like this has been made, like assistant managers, this is 83%, 30, 11%, 11. Okay, so this is also 66%, 63, this has been also there. So forecasted supply is these are totally calculated. 11 plus 4 is 15, 30 plus 11 is 41, so 63. Okay, so after the wastage this remains 63 employees remains, so this is 29. So these like figure that we talk about, these are the people available at the end of the financial year. Okay, or at the end of the year. So total internal supply, these are the internal supply remains. Okay, so so these are the exit, 10% exit, one exit, so these many people have left. Okay, so this is Markov analysis. This helps us to understand the pattern of movement uh, of employees. Okay. So then we will move on. So this is also one skill inventories. So a skill inventory is a list of an individual's professional competencies or skills. Such an inventory might also include educations and professional experience. Okay, so this is once again when we talk of or discuss about skill inventory, we also refer to the human resource information system. Okay, this is one example I have taken. One IT employee or IT employee skill matrices. Okay, so this is one Excel sheet just copied. So IT skill needed, name of the skills. Okay, responsibilities, name of the skills and responsibilities, like that. Okay, so we can have this like employee wise, name of the employee, key responsibilities, like we can put tick mark here. So suppose a person Mr. X is that, what is his skills. Okay, so all these things have to be tick 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 tick, or if it something is not required, there can be also like not required or cross can be mentioned. Similarly gap also, it has to be also, if any gap is there employee wise, this can be also. Okay, this can be also, or can be also used. Okay. So here we can write the name of the employee. Then if this skill is required, we can make managerial skill is required. Okay, you can have a tick mark. Then sorry. So communication is required, tick mark, production management, something like that. So we can make a tick mark or cross mark. So we can against one employee's name. So what are the skill available with the or competency available with the employee, we can that fill up these seats. Okay, if employee wise any gap is taking place, or so this can be also here highlighted employee wise, this can also highlighted if needed, like some skill development training program can be imparted. Okay, so this is one IT employee skill matrix. This is one IT employee skill matrix. So how a company can make an inventory of the skills. So this form can be also used, or it can be modified depending on the requirement of the department or the company. So we will move on. Then we can talk of the replacement charts. This is also used for internal supply analysis. So replacement chart that helps us derive the profile of the job holders. Okay. So it helps us derive the profile of the job holders. So what is the job holder profile? Number one. Then department wise and reveals those who could be used as a replacement whenever the need arises. Okay. So let us see this so that we can replacement chart. I have given here one. Okay. So this you see here is also some of the these are the codes that are being used. Okay. Key names given are replacement candidates. These are the names and designations we can say. So general manager is VK Garg. Then so who is this general manager? L. Another is PA2 general manager is L Matthew. Okay. Similarly, there are also some just it's a organization that structure. Okay. So one structure is shown here: general manager, assistant general managers. You can show these are the people: RK Arora and VK Nehru. Similar, these are the peoples, various peoples working in different divisions. Okay, like division HR manager, division accounting, division planning managers. Okay, then technical advisors, northern regions managers, so central managers, southern region managers, eastern region managers, like that. Okay, so let us see this the key codes that are being used. So names given are replacement candidates. Then A means promoted now. So this manager, general manager VK Garg is promoted now. So what is this 2? 2 means above average performance. This man is promoted on the basis of his performance. Similarly, you can see B1 means needed development. B means needed development. So what is one superior performance, but still he needed some development. Okay. So here also RK Arora A by 2 means A means promoted now, 2 means above average performance. So similarly BK Nehru, so this is B by 3, B means needed improvement, 3 means acceptable performance. Okay. But performance is acceptable. Similarly all these positions, job positions, this replacement chart can be also that these jobs shows the following codes. Okay, like whether the person is promoted now or needing development or not suitable for positions. Okay, or the performance is suitable or superior performance, above average performance, acceptable performance, or poor performance. So this has been that this structure shows that. So when the organization is having a replacement chart, it can refer to the replacement chart if some like crisis kind of things. Crisis is taking place, death of a person who had occupied a key positions. So immediately looking into the replacement chart, a person can be given the responsibility of the positions. I think it is clear. So then we can talk of external supply analysis. So when we discuss about external supply analysis, we talk of the labor market behavior. So external hirings need to be contacted when suitable internal replacement are not available or as per the policy. Sometimes what happens, the organization is having a policy of recruiting certain percentage of people from within the organization and certain percentage of people from outside the organization. Policy or internal replacement are not available. So following are the factors to be taken into consideration while forecasting HR supply. Okay. So then net migrations for an area. If the migration is more in a particular locality, that means so a particular maybe certain profiles of the jobs, or that it is easy for the company to fill up certain profiles of the jobs because of the more number of people available in the job market. Similarly, individuals entering and leaving the workforce, there are people like who are graduated, okay, maybe the 20-25 years, they may be looking for jobs. How many people of that kind are entering the labor market or job fields? Okay, so leaving the workforce, the number of people are leaving the workforce, they are leaving, they are no more remaining as workers, that can be also one factors. So individuals graduating from schools and colleges, changing workforce composition and patterns, this also if you see in the last 2 decades, more number of girls are entering the job field. Okay, they are becoming, they are pursuing higher educations and joining the companies. So when we talk of these girls or women and entering into the workforce, they have specific requirement, they have also some policy implication, because you cannot take for example, you cannot, or one organization cannot work a lady to work in night shift. Okay, so a gents or a male candidate can be asked to work in that day shift. There are some policy implications or policy issues will come because of the changing composition of the workforce. So this changing composition, maybe a gender can be one issue, age can be one issue, demography can be issue. Okay, similarly economic forecast is also one of the factors. Technological development and shift, new technologies coming will have impact, and more number of technology jobs will be created. So actions for competing employers also that, so that employers, that strategy, that hiring strategy is going to also influence the labor market behaviors. Okay, so government regulations and pressures, government also brings out some of the labor laws, like take for examples, child labor is banned, so nobody or no company can hire child laborers into its workforce. So government regulations will also be one of the important factors or pressures. Okay, the attractiveness of an area, normally if you see, cities are the employment destinations, more number of people want to stay with the cities. So this can be one of the that factors influencing the labor market, influencing the labor market. Then the attractiveness of the industry, okay, in the particular place, industry also can be also one of the factors. Therefore the HR planner need to keep themselves abreast of the labor market conditions, such as local employment trends of relevant categories of employees, competitions for such skills, availability of part-time laborers, migrations, trends of laborer, etc. So these are the things. So then summary of information needed for comprehensive supply forecast and analysis. So number one is the skill based potentiality, trainability, and current and potential productivity level of the existing workforce is a must. So unless we know, we cannot do this supply analysis. Okay, so this can be also, this may be that this can be available in human resource information system. The structure of the existing workforce in terms of age distribution, skill, or demography, in terms of workers demographics. So then skills, hours of work, rates of pay, and so on have to be also maintained. The possible changes in the productivity, size, and structure of the workforce due to resignations, retirements, promotions, transfer, absenteeism, and other external factors. Okay, these are called manpower wastage. Okay, so uh, uh, absenteeism and like economy and culture factors. Okay, absenteeism is called manpower wastage, which may induce such changes. The availability of the relevant skills in the external labor market for present and future use. The HR planner will have to assess and monitor factors such as market value, image, preference of the existing labor for the company, motivation factor, and could invoke of the prospective candidates to join the company. So these are the information normally is required. So thank you very much for today. So today we discussed about manpower supply forecasting. We discussed about various techniques like that in that labor market behavior we talked about. We talked about also like staffing and manning table, Markov analysis we talked about. Okay, so then we talked about skill inventory, we discussed about replacement chart, then we also discussed about why labor market is very much significant. This is external source of supply, internal source of supply. We discussed our organization factor, human resource information system. Then the HR has to have the knowledge on labor market behavior. These are the things that we have discussed. In the next sessions we will discuss with various that human resource interventions to deal with manpower shortage and manpower that surplus. So thank you for the session today. Thank you. We will have another session next time.